Alright, as much as we are led to believe that he is evil, we somehow all love this character. There has been so much talk around Season 4 and what was not great, but one thing that stays true throughout all the seasons in The Dragon Prince is that Aaravos will live in our minds rent-free. This character oozes mystery, charisma, and yet we fear him and what he is capable of. Not only did we see him control the main character so effortlessly, it made us wonder, why has he never done this before? But he manipulates and deceives characters with such ease, we wonder how he was trapped in the first place. Very little is still known about this character, so we definitely do not have the full picture. But with everything that we have been told previously, with the hidden lore, and now with everything we have learnt about Aaravos in Season 4 of The Dragon Prince, we can piece together quite a lot of parts to get a better idea of what happened to Aaravos. I will say now already that this is not going to be a full breakdown of Aaravos as a character, since that would take a lot longer. I want to focus on what happened to him when he got trapped, who was involved, and how. This video will obviously contain spoilers for Season 4. If you haven't watched it, then I at least recommend to watch Episode 4, as that is the episode where most of the new information on Aaravos is revealed to us. To not imprison you into my intro any longer, let's hop right in. Let's start with everything that we know about who trapped Aaravos and how he was trapped. In the 4th episode of latest season, we learned that he betrayed elves and dragons, and that he was involved in the disappearance of Queen Aditi. While we do not know what happened exactly, we also know that no one else knows what happened. We see that a human girl, the Orphan Queen, is the one who brings the truth. This is very interesting phrasing. We know that Aaravos has tried to help humans a lot in their past, so much so that he saves the city of Alarion. He gives Ziard his staff, which we now mostly see in the possession of Claudia and Viren, and even based on what we hear from Claudia, he lets them believe that he is truly on their side and wants the best for them. This means that since the beginning, he is one of the only magical creatures that actually seemed to notice the value in humans. I do not think, though, that he wanted to do any less than to use them to rise to power, and saw the opportunity of manipulating and controlling them so very easily. So when it is phrased that the truth came from the Orphan Queen, I believe that she did not stumble upon this information, but rather that she was involved. What if Aaravos was trying to help the humans, and she was a part of his plans, until she double-crossed him? I covered the general backstory of what happens and when in my previous video. I recommend to check it out, but Luna Tenebris was the one who issued the Judgment of the Half Moon. She was the one responsible for humans being publicly villainized in Xadia, so Aaravos getting rid of her fits the narrative of trying to rally humans behind him. Then he also sows chaos within Xadia by ridding them of their only mediator, which leads to not only the dragons destroying each other, but also elves waging war on the dragons. What if he does these things not only to sow chaos, but to convince humans that he is helping them, to further drive them to fall right into his hands, to help him to rise to power? I think that the Orphan Queen heard from Aaravos himself what he had done. Maybe the same time that she got the cube from him, where he promised to show her a great power. What he did not factor in, though, is that some humans were still good. This is how the Orphan Queen not only had gotten her information, but also why she decided to thwart his plans. This then led to the dragons and elves conspiring against Aaravos and eventually trapping him. How exactly they managed to trick him, I don't know, but if they had more than one pretending to work with him while feeding the elves and dragons information, I believe they would figure out a way. This brings us to them actually trapping him. So far, all we know is that somehow they tricked Aaravos, and then when he let down his guard, they managed to trap him in a magical prison. In the section of flashbacks when Zubeya tells us about this, we get this frame. Here we can see multiple things. The most notable one is that the Orphan Queen is standing there, which means that she was present in Aaravos' trapping. I really don't know how they will explain that multiple archdragons were apparently no match for his power, but a couple of elves, humans, and a clever plan was. However, the next notable thing is that it seems to look as though a tidebound elf is creating his prison. This suggests that they have the magic to magically imprison someone. This will be interesting later. Then we have one more person involved. We do not know who this person is. You might think that this is the last time we see of this character, but if you take a closer look at the credit images, look who shows up again. As I said, we have no idea who this is, but for now I believe they are human, as it does not look like elf ears can fit under that hood. We do see that they seem to have a bundle of keys, so one of the commenters has come up with the name I am sticking with, the Keymaster. Who they are and what their involvement was, I guess we will find out in future seasons. Let's go back to the tidebound elf though. This is the reason that in the previous video I said that I do not think that my thoughts on Ithari being involved in the process of capturing Aaravos were wrong. He may not have been the one who built the prison, but clearly other elves helped, so why would he be left out? I think that what happened is that while Aaravos was once again using the humans for one of his evil plots, he had let his guard down, because he was under the impression that those surrounding him were working for, or at least with him. Yet they were the ones that ended up trapping him. The fact that it was a tidebound elf will probably be explored much further in the Book of Ocean, which I assume will be the next one. How I think Ithari was involved is that he was the one that helped create the clues to piece together where Aaravos was trapped. I am still convinced that Ithari built the mirror, since the incorrect reflections being something we've only seen related to his moon weapons and in the mirror, and with Runan knowing about the mirror, they're just too strong of arguments for me. I believe that a group of elven blacksmiths worked together to create the different objects. The fact that it is almost like a visual portal makes me consider that he might have worked on it with a Startouch elf, since not all Startouch elves are necessarily evil. Even though they are described as arrogant in this poem, I think Aaravos would probably pose a threat to them. Maybe even unicorns would have been the ones to help, since we know that they are connected to the Star Primal where the portaling comes from. Also, humans have kind of hunted the unicorns to near extinction, so I wouldn't be surprised if they would want to help with the imprisonment of the one behind it all. There is a lot that we are yet to find out. We still need more information for conclusive proof, but I stand by the theory that the Orphan Queen was actually meant to be a victim to Aaravos' manipulation before consulting the dragons and elves. I would love to hear any thoughts that you guys have on what we've discussed in today's video, and yes, I will now ride the Ithari built the mirror train until it crashes and burns. Who do you think the mystery person is? Of their involvement or importance? They show up in the credit images, so I want to believe they aren't completely irrelevant. Any feedback is greatly appreciated, and I am so grateful for how supportive this community has been already. I am looking forward to navigating our way around the lore further, and I don't like doing this, but if you want to continue to stay up to date with breakdowns and theories, I would love it if you subscribed. With that being said though, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Take care. Bye.